Yeah. I'm here all alone. Now you're home.
You do want to have a really strong elevator pitch about yourself. It's effectively a 1.5-minute speech about who you are, why you want this particular job, and ultimately why you're going to be the best person for this opportunity. A typical window you want to arrive in before an interview is about 5 to 10 minutes or so. If you're 15 minutes, the interviewer sometimes feels like they have to scramble to get everything sorted, and running late does not necessarily reflect well upon yourself. And one of the things that we always stress is to write a thank you note after every single interview that you take part in. You address the person that interviewed you, say something along the lines of, "Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. I really liked," and then you want to talk about 3 specific things that you discussed within that interview. You want to show that you were paying attention during this conversation. The next part, you're just going to thank them again for taking the time to speak with you and ask if there is any other information that you can provide for them at this time. The ending of the thank you note can be pretty basic. You can say sincerely and then your name. And then a really great tip I actually got from a friend of mine was ending the thank you note with a PS section that has a question for the interviewer specific to what you all talked about, or maybe it's a question you didn't necessarily get to. In that way, they're then forced to interact with you, and you've already also created a touch point that they're going to continue to remember you moving forward. Proofread your resume. I cannot stress this enough. Have, a family member look it over, have a significant other look it over, have your dog walker look it over. I don't care. Just try to get multiple eyes on your resume, specifically to see if there are grammatical errors or if there is something else that's popping up. Speaking as someone who's a recruiter, I don't believe you need to write a cover letter for every single job that you apply to. It's going to make you crazy. It's really time consuming. And the majority of the recruiters that I know aren't even really reading cover letters. They're more so focused on your resume and the content that's there. There's no need, for example, to go full suit and tie to every single sort of interview that you're a part of. One thing that you can do to kind of make yourself feel more at ease is prior to a face-to-face interview, asking the recruiter or HR person or whomever you've worked with what the dress code is there. Don't speak negatively about any past roles or any past internships. There's been a couple of studies that have done where people are in a mock sort of interview situation. And if the person that they were interviewing was using quote unquote negative language, they were significantly less likely to bring that person in for next interviews as opposed to someone that used positive language. What you want to do is focus on the them and not the you. So a good example would be something like, "Hi, Eve. I noticed that you work at Quadio. I really would love to take the time to speak with you about your journey there. I am super interested in Quadio because it specifically helps women or female identifying people. And that's a space that I'm really passionate about. I'd love to take some time to chat with you via a virtual coffee or on the phone. Do you have 20 to 30 minutes this week to chat? Looking forward to hearing back from you." In that sense, you're putting together a concise message that's super to the point, talks about why you're interested in them specifically, and then also focuses on a concrete time to speak. How do you find these people that you want to network with? There is a specific way to program, which is known as Boolean logic. So Boolean uses the phrases and, nor, and or. For example, let's say you want to find people who focus on promotions, specifically within the country space at Warner. You could write something in LinkedIn in the search bar that says Warner and country and promotions. And in that sense, you're going to get everyone who works at Warner who has experience in promotions, specifically dealing with country. Then you're able to narrow that down based on geographic location. And specifically, if we're talking about LinkedIn, you can narrow that down based on common connections.